What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing today? So today I'm making a video on why I prefer to build Renata Tank versus like enchanter-y, those kind of builds. The reason I'm making this video is, you know, every once in a while I'll get flamed by somebody like this Kenan here, who went 0-5 and was like 0-4 4 minutes into the game, and then permafarm the rest of the game while having no pressure and just being worthless. You know, I get flamed people like by people like that on, oh, well, Renata's building tank, that must be why we're losing. You're worthless. That's why.
My latest product!
So the main reason that I like building tank Renata is just, well, because you're tankier. But if you're tankier, that means, I mean, no shit, right? But it means you're harder to kill. And on Renata, as long as you are alive, your team is benefiting. And the other thing to think about is if you build or enchanter, your E, no matter what you do, it's not gonna shield that much. It's an AoE shield, sure, but it's not like a Lulu E or something where you're almost guaranteed to be using it as a shield in a team fight. You could be using it as a slow on somebody. You could be using it as a shield, maybe. You could be using it to just shield yourself, but no matter what, it's not going to be really a big shield. Plus, it's a high cooldown. It's a high cooldown no matter what you build. It doesn't matter if you have all cooldown items, it's still going to be like 8 or 9 seconds. Maybe 7, but for a shield, and if you're using it only as a shield, it's a ridiculous cooldown. So I opt into, I don't want the shield. It doesn't really do much for me, so I'd rather just build tank. But it also, living longer, being tankier, it allows you to be closer to the fight, so you can just pop your ult. Living long enough to pop your ult, they all funnel in, you can hit ult, and you hit a big ult. Instead of trying to play from all the way back somewhere, and then your long ass ult is taking forever, and they all dodge it. But here's an example of just living longer. If you live long enough, your team can also, you know, look, they all can corral around you, but I live long enough to W myself and pop my ult in this team fight. That's why I like building tank Renata. Just the sheer tankiness of the character. When you build tank, it really benefits Renata. At least it benefits my playstyle on Renata. Here's another kind of example. Here, I'm stepping forward. I'm in front of everybody. My Udyr's tanky. I'm in front of my Udyr, but I can be here because I'm tank Renata. So I step up, and Galio catches me out. He does a decent chunk to me, but then I can step back up into everybody and just hit ult. And we win the fight. We stop the fight. The thing I'll say about building pure tank Renata, because I like building almost fully tank, I like to do that when me and my bot lane are getting ahead. It's expensive. It's expensive to build tank, and if you're, you know, obviously you're support, so you're in a gold deficit role. So if we're not ahead, I will still build tank, but I will build the cheaper tank items and the cheaper, like, support tank items. Like, if you're behind, Locket that's great on tank Renata no matter what, but if I'm behind, I'm definitely building Locket first item. I play Unsealed Spellbook Renata. Great, I love it. She's an immobile champion, so being able to swap from TP to Ghost to things like that, it really makes, it helps out. Being able to swap from TP to Ghost to whoever, it helps with being able to actually roam. If you're going TP, you should be going top lane. You can roam top lane, have an impact there, TP back down. That's pretty big, but building tank Renata, that also helps out because your top lane's ahead, they're pushing, they're stomping. You can dive if you're tank. You can dive the enemy top laner, and you can initiate the dive. Also, with Unsealed Spellbook plus tank Renata, when you go heal, that just makes you that much harder to kill. When you go Ghost, it just makes you that much harder to kill. And as I said before, you benefit your team and you, obviously. But all of you benefit from Renata just being alive. We talked about those long cooldowns. Your cooldowns are super long, but if you live long enough, they're going to come back up. You might be able to get 2 handshakes off in a singular fight, 2 E's off in a singular fight. I'm not going to say 2 W's, it doesn't matter. Your W is always going to be like 20 seconds on a cooldown of 20 seconds. If the fight goes prolonged enough, though, you might get another W off, but most fights probably not. That's going to be it for this video. Just wanted to kind of talk about why I like to build tank on Renata versus building an enchanter style build. At the end of the day, it all comes down to preference. At the end of the day, I'm not the Jesus Christ of playing Renata. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the GOAT Renata player. So, you know, take my words as you will. I'm sure once you get super, super high up there, building tank is worthless because, like I said, you're at a gold deficit. Building tank is expensive. It's obviously building the support items. They're cheaper because they're meant for supports. So, like I said, take my words with a grain of salt, but that's just my preferences. I hope y'all have a splendiferous day, and I hope you enjoyed my video.
You know what to do. That's an order.